Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tear down a massive misconception in modern business. We're looking at the architecture of belonging and exactly why brand communities are actually the most underrated appreciating growth asset you can possibly build. If you've always thought of community as just some fluffy marketing buzzword, well, get ready to change your perspective completely.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Just think about this quote for a second. Attention is rented and repriced by an algorithm every quarter. Belonging compounds. Literally, this is the entire paradigm shift right here. We spend so much time and money desperately chasing fleeting, rented attention on social platforms, and we completely ignore the fact that building true belonging actually creates a compounding asset for your company's balance sheet.
So, here's our structural blueprint for today. 1. Beyond the marketing buzzword. 2. The SB Spaces business case. 3. How to build it. 4. Stop renting your land. And finally, number 5, owning your digital home. We're going to build this understanding step by step. All right, kicking things off with section 1, beyond the marketing buzzword. We really need to set the record straight right off the bat. This whole concept isn't just some flashy new tech trend. It's actually rooted in decades of serious sociological research, like this definition from Muñez and O'Guinn, which goes all the way back to 2001. A brand community is a specialized, non-geographically bound community based on a structured set of social relations among admirers of a brand. Notice the language there. Community is not just being used as a cute metaphor. It's a very real, measurable sociological structure. And it transcends geography simply because our media transcends geography. So what makes a community real? There are 3 primary markers. First, you've got consciousness of kind, basically that intrinsic shared gut feeling of belonging. Then, shared rituals and traditions, think the Jeep Wave or dedicated unboxing videos. But that third one, moral responsibility. This right here is the absolute secret sauce. That felt duty to help out other members is exactly why your community members are cheerfully answering support tickets for free at 2 a.m. or vigorously defending your brand in the comment sections when absolutely nobody paid them to do it. And that leads us to the biggest myth we need to bust today. A brand community is not a marketing strategy. It is a business strategy. Take Harley-Davidson. Back in 1983, they were quite literally facing extinction. But flash forward 25 years, and they were a top 50 global brand worth nearly $8 billion. How? They retooled every single aspect of their entire organization to support their community. It wasn't just a temporary campaign owned by one marketing manager. It was a massive, company-wide investment. If your community is just a marketing campaign, it's going to die the exact second that budget cycle ends. Which brings us to this fascinating typology of affiliation. You basically have pools, webs, and hubs. A pool is where everyone shares a common goal, like Ironman triathletes, but the actual member-to-member ties are pretty weak. A hub relies entirely on a central charismatic figure, which means you get explosive growth, but it completely collapses if that person leaves. Now, the smartest strategic move a brand can possibly make is converting a fragile pool into an uncopyable web. A web has incredibly strong one-to-one ties between its members. Think about it. A pool of people who love your product is basically just a mailing list with extra steps. But a web of people who genuinely know each other because of your product? That is a moat that a competitor with a massive ad budget simply can't buy. Let's move on to section 2, the Spaces business case. Now, I know what the skeptics and the CFOs out there are thinking. They think community is just qualitative fluff, right? Designed to make people feel warm and fuzzy. Well, let me introduce you to the SBCs model, developed by David Spinks and CMX. This absolutely proves community is not a cost center. S is for support, deflecting cases and saving hard costs. P is for product, gathering ideas so you innovate faster. A is acquisition, driving brand new revenue. C is contribution, growing your ecosystem through member templates and extensions. E is for engagement, boosting that lifetime value. And the final S is success, protecting your revenue through pure education. The real trick here, though, don't chase all 6 at once. Just pick one primary and one secondary outcome to track per quarter, convert those wins into actual dollars, and confidently present that community P&L to your leadership. And hey, if they still don't believe you, hit them with this massive data point. Companies with strong communities grow revenue 2.1 times faster than those without. 2.1. This isn't just a nice to have, it is absolutely essential strategic infrastructure. Need another hard metric? Boom. Communities reduce customer acquisition costs by an average of 32%.
Because your community generates genuine, authentic word of mouth and builds deep trust, you aren't stuck paying a massive premium to some black box algorithm just to acquire every single new user. So ask yourself, why exactly does this happen? The psychology gap between an owned community and a standard social media feed is just staggering. Look at this. In a community, members report a 36% increase in meaningful conversation, a 28% increase in getting respect, and a 21% jump in feeling appreciated compared to regular social media platforms. Owned communities optimize for real belonging. Social feeds, they just optimize for eyeball attention.
All right, section 3, how to build it.
We totally know the why now, so let's get highly practical with the how. You absolutely must understand the participation inequality curve. This might shock you, but just 14% of your members, your real power users, will produce 70% of all your discussions. The other 86% are just standard passive observers. So you have to design your entire program specifically around this 14%. Identify them, name them, give them status, early access, private channels. They are essentially your extended product and support teams. Your company's org chart just hasn't realized it yet. And this brilliantly illustrates something completely counterintuitive when you're ready to launch. Do not launch to the public immediately. Look at this 90-day sequence. Days 1 to 14, recruit 10 to 30 handpicked members. Days 15 to 45, you establish recurring rituals with them. Days 46 to 75, delegate by promoting moderators from within that tight group. Only on day 76 do you actually open the doors. Why? Because culture, once it's set by your founding members, is basically permanent. 10 amazing, highly active members are infinitely more valuable to your foundation than 1,000 inactive ones. Let's shift gears to the big conflict. Section 4. Stop renting your land. So here is where most brilliant community strategies quietly die. I want you to pause right here and ask yourself a really stark question. Where does your community actually live today? Take a second to really reflect on your brand's current digital real estate. Because if you set a Facebook group, Discord, or Slack, you are paying severe hidden costs. First off, you don't actually own the relationship. An algorithm is completely throttling your reach. You don't own the data either. All those vital behavioral insights are locked safely away in someone else's analytics dashboard. And you definitely don't own the environment, meaning your members are constantly distracted by competitor ads and platform noise. Firmly speaking, building your corporate asset on someone else's infrastructure isn't just a bad marketing decision, it is a fundamental failure of asset protection. So how do we fix it? Section 5, owning your digital home. Let's look at the specific technological solution that fixes this rented land problem once and for all. Enter Atrium by Linkspreed. This is a SaaS platform, social network as a service. Historically, if you wanted to build your own social platform, it meant begging for a massive IT budget, agonizing over months of complex development, hosting fees, the whole shebang. Atrium literally removes that massive barrier completely, finally allowing brands to own their spaces without all that technical friction. Let's break down the Atrium advantage. First up, white label ownership. It is your brand, your rules, and your data. Second, they have this wild one-prompt AI method that literally deploys your custom social network in under 60 seconds. Third, there is zero cost of entry and a 0% take rate, which completely eliminates your pilot risks. And finally, UID, a decentralized portable identity system so your members carry their reputation with them and don't have to start from scratch with a cold signup. These specific features convert community building from a massive, risky engineering nightmare right into a very simple, no-brainer marketing decision. Think of it this way. The public feed is just a noisy, rented broadcaster stage. It's a crowded bar or a hub. But the Atrium? That very name connects directly back to those sociological community scripts we discussed earlier. It is quite literally architecture for the patio, a semi-private, welcoming, heavily branded space that is strictly designed for deep, meaningful connection without the interference of hidden algorithms. All right, let's rapidly summarize the key takeaways from our explainer today. 1. Treat community as a serious business strategy, a true appreciating balance sheet asset. 2. Serve your members first. I promise the business value will naturally follow. 3. Build actual rituals, not just software features. And 4. Own the house. Protect your asset. Do not rent it from big tech. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. Your customers are already forming a community around your brand somewhere out there right now. The only real question is, are they building it in your Atrium, or are they building it in someone else's feed? Take control of your digital destiny and build a space where belonging truly compounds. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.